What's up, y'all? It's your boy Dennis here, Do It All Garage. About, I'd say, probably a year and a half ago, my thermocouple went out on my water heater back there, and I had no idea how to replace it. But it looks like it's gone out again, and I'm hoping this fixes it. But I'm going to try to make a better video this time. I've got a little better equipment and tripod and stuff like that. Here is the box. If you could read that. I got that on Amazon. Okay. It comes with this little pad, which I'm not going to use, and this other thing, I'm not going to use that either. But, so I'm going to try to get a better angle on this than I did in my previous video. Let me go over this first. It is a State Select. I don't know who makes it, or if that's who makes it, or whatever. State Select brand. I'm not sure how many gallons, maybe 80 gallons or something like that. And that's what the setup looks like. Got my gas line running right there. Water pipes there. That's my igniter gas regulator thing. I'm not an expert on this. So let me get my tripod set up here. Hopefully it'll be at a good angle and out of the way. So I've already got my tools out here. And let's see. Get a little towel to use it as a knee pad. But here is how this comes. The new one comes in the box. Mine has this resistor right here. So anyway, I'm going to try to do this. I'm not going to go into what size wrenches I'm using and all of that. But the first thing you want to do on this gas line, make sure the gas is shut off. When it's running perpendicular to the line, that means it's shut off. When it's running parallel, it's on. So right now it's in the shut off position. This is your pilot light right here, or your gas flow. You want to make sure that's off. Okay. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to loosen up. This is the burner pipe. So there's a nut under here. I'm going to loosen that up. Might take a little while. It's getting loose pretty quick. Spin that nut off of there, and then I'm using an 11 and a 10 millimeter. I don't think these are 100% correct sizes to be using on this, but that's what I have and that's what I'm using. These are your I guess one of them's like an electric line, I think. Just remember the silver one goes on the right, and the little copper looking one goes to the left. Okay. And a buddy of mine told me a trick. He said to make these things last longer, you turn your hot water down to about medium. And he said it'll make them last longer. Next thing you want to do is take these two screws or nuts off. Okay, and I've got my tool tray right there, parts tray, magnetic of course, and this thing will come down. You pull this down, this pipe, and you just kind of work this assembly out of here. Feels like it's getting hung up on something. Oh. Yeah. And there's a bunch of rust. It's probably getting about time to replace this water heater. Okay. So there is a little electric line right here. Hopefully y'all can see that. It's this thing right here. You just want to unplug that. But this is the assembly. That's your burner. And you got to hook your thermocouple up right here. And that thing looks pretty roached out. So I'm going to try to set my camera up over here so I can swap this thing out. Bear with me. Okay guys, so sorry I got my fan on. It's pretty freaking hot out here tonight. Hopefully you can hear me, but anyway, there is a little screw right here where my thumbnail is, and there's another one right there. Okay, and that's what holds these brackets on. So I'm going to remove those. Try not to strip them out. Don't use the wrong kind of tip screwdriver. This is a number 2 Phillips. A pair of pliers would have helped there, but that's all right. So you can basically lift this whole thing off of here. You just want to be careful, and this little rubber piece right here can get pushed through the hole like that. Just want to pull it all out of there. So now you want to take your new one and be gentle with it. You don't want to pinch these lines up or pinch a hole in them or anything like that. Okay. And if you notice, this piece here has that little tab on it right there. Okay. That one hooks up into this piece right here. Okay. See that little piece? That's where the screw goes. That's where the tab goes. So you want to, again, be careful. Run all this stuff through here, through that hole. Make sure it kind of, this stuff does bend and flex to a certain extent. You just, again, have to use your best judgment with it. Okay. That lined up, it can be a little tricky. Sorry if you can't see everything I'm doing, but I got to get this done. My wife and my family are tired of taking cold showers. Alright guys, I got cut off there for a second. So Anyway, I got this little grommet pulled through here to hold this stuff in place. All this stuff's nice and straight. I'm going to tap on this just a little bit, get some of that crud off of there. That's the burner assembly. It's where your gas comes out. This little gas flows out of here, out of the silver one. Your little igniter creates a spark and it ignites the gas, and this is your thermocouple right here, that little round rod looking thing, and that is what basically stays in the flame, and it basically allows gas to keep flowing to your water heater. If this thing goes out, it'll shut the gas off as a safety feature. So, again, I'm not an expert on this, but I've done this once before and I've seen a few videos on it. The reason that I'm doing this one on this State Select is because it has this resistor. Okay, none of the universal ones have that. I'm not 100% sure if it's even 100% necessary, but it was on there, so I'm going to replace it with the same one. So anyway, that's what it's going to look like. You're going to have the electrical wire and the copper colored wire tubing, I guess I should say, and then the silver one for your gas. So let's go back over here and we'll put it back in. Alright guys, so I don't know if you can see down in there, there's like a little holder. It's sticking up like that. Okay, when you put this thing in there, it holds on the this pipe, the gas pipe, like that to help keep it in place. So that's what it was getting stuck on when I was pulling it out. And you'll line this up, get that insulation back in there. Okay. You gotta get that nut back on, get it threaded on correctly, get it seated properly. Might take you a few tries. Okay. Now, it's kind of hard when you're my size doing this stuff. Can't seem to get those threads lined up. Okay, so I finally got that nut back in there. I'm going to go ahead and put these back on. Get them hand tight. And this is a cover. It's a cover that I took off. I didn't show me taking it off, but I'll put it back on there. Okay, so that electrical wire, we'll run that up here behind the back, plug that in, cover it up, and again the copper line goes on the left. Get that started. Silver looking one goes on the right. I've already tightened the nut for the gas pipe, so I'm going to tighten these. You don't want to tighten them to where you strip them, you just get them snug. Okay, and that's it. So, that's pretty much how you do it. And if I can, I'm going to test this light. Okay, if you can see in there, that's the pilot light. So I was just making sure that was working. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn my gas back on. I'm going to hold that down to bleed some of the air out. I'm going to continue holding it down. I think it's still maybe bleeding a little bit of air out. See that blue flame in there? I'm gonna let it go, and voila. Now it's lit up. So basically I had to turn it this way, like counterclockwise. When you light the pilot light, you turn it in the middle, hold it down, and squeeze that green button, and that's where the pilot light lit and the gas started coming out. And once it's lit, you twist it all the way to where it says on, right there. That's off. And that's your temperature regulator. I'm going to go ahead and move this thing down to A. I think it was set at B or C before. And when you let my hot water run for about 30 seconds, you could not hold your hand underneath it. It would burn your hand. So my buddy told me that doing that would shorten the life of that thermocouple. So anyway, it's still going. So it's going to heat that water up. Hopefully this fixes it. It usually does. There's not a whole lot to these water heaters. They're fairly simple. If you guys try this, you will save yourself a lot of money. Okay, and it's worth a shot before you call a repair guy, because they're usually not super cheap. So anyway, you can save yourself a lot of money and try this first if your pilot light won't stay lit in your gas water heater. I'm gonna go ahead and tighten these screws up, but this right here, this is the cover for all this, and as you can see, it's flexible. So what you do is, once you have all that tucked in there, it'll kind of pinch in there like that, and it's kind of covered up. So that's how you do it. One last tip: get you a big screwdriver, or if you already have a knob on there, that's fine. Get an old pot or a tea pitcher. About every few months or so, make a habit out of it. Open this thing up, water will pour out of here, and you will get a bunch of calcium deposits and sediment and stuff out of there. So do it all, garage. Thanks for watching, and I hope this helps some of y'all out and helps you save some money. So don't forget to like and subscribe and share. Thanks a lot.